All right, we back. All right, Kurt. Let's start off. We didn't do last week.
Right.
Now, I want to start this off by saying the week before we did a review of the Nicki Minaj album.
Yes.
And like up until that point, the Drake album was our most listened to.
Okay.
The Nicki Minaj album has overtaken that as the most listened to podcast that we've ever done.
Congratulations.
And, at the end of the podcast, I always say, send us emails,
right.
and, with your comments, let us know what you think.
Right.
And this was the first time that I got an email.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And basically, I'm not going to go through, everything in it. I'm not going to put out who sent it. But pretty much what was said in the email was that specifically me and you, Kurt, that we don't like black women.
Oh, I don't understand where that came from.
Now, the first thing I want to say is, me and Kurt, we both have black wives, which means nothing. I possibly couldn't like
black women.
But what I will say is this. I don't care what you think. The album was bad.
Right, because basically, I'm not seeing her blackness when I'm listening to this terrible music.
Right.
I'm hearing terrible music.
I don't see color when I'm listening to music. And I'm not prejudging the music. This was the album that I wanted to listen to.
Right. Exactly.
I wanted to hear what it sounded like.
Exactly.
The exact same reason I wanted to hear what the Drake album sounded like.
Exactly. So we don't like black men either, or is Drake considered black?
I don't like light skinned guys.
Oh, okay. So you just don't like light skinned guys. I don't like light skinned guys.
I'm hating on all the light skinned dudes.
Oh, I had no idea. That's why I was trying to figure out then if that's what we're basing things on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to review a Conway Twitty album.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's coming, all right? Who knows?
Yeah.
If we get through these topics fast enough, that Kanye might can make it.
Yeah, I said Conway Twitty, not Kanye.
Oh, I thought you said Kanye.
No, Conway Twitty, old school, baby, old school.
I don't know who that is, man. Once you say Con, man, I automatically go.
You say Con.
First thing I go to Kanye. The next thing I go to Akon. So I know you want to talk about no Akon.
Then you go to Convict.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Pretty much.
All right. So, to the person that sent the email, it's not that we don't like black women. It's that I don't like bad music.
Exactly.
And from the actions that Nicki Minaj has shown this past week,
which our review took place prior to that.
Prior to all of this, we were the first one.
Yes.
Like our review came out maybe an hour after the album dropped. Right. We did a listen while we were recording it. So This is an hour in. And from what I've seen, I'm seeing some people saying, yeah, it's okay, it's a good album. But then the majority of people I'm seeing are saying that it's not good.
Right.
A lot of people are saying exactly what we were saying, that it's not good. The album is a mess.
Right.
And I'm not going to fall back on it. I said what I said.
Exactly.
And if I said it, I meant it. It's not good.
It's not good.
So,
and then she consider herself to be the new Harriet Tubman. She need to free this terrible music.
She need to free these ears from this music. Free your weird fans who are sending a semi-popular podcast emails about this terrible album.
Right.
It's not going to change it.
Not at all.
So, now we got that out the way.
Okay, good.
Now we enter the part where we probably going to get an email saying that we don't like women in general. So, over this week, we all know, we've talked about, the Harvey Weinstein,
right.
Bill Cosby's,
right.
Kevin Spacey's, all the people that's out here taking the goodies.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Taking the goodies is bad.
Don't take it. You don't take. If what you do is, if it's offered up to you, then you take it if you want it. Only if it's offered.
But it still got to be legal.
Yes, it still has to be legal.
It still has to be legal.
Still, in Kevin Spacey's case, it has to be legal.
It has to be legal. If it's
Now,
offered.
This woman, I've never heard of her before, before this whole thing came out. This woman called Asia Argento.
Exactly.
Never heard of her before. I went and I kind of checked to see what she's known for. She was in Triple X with Vin Diesel.
Which one, this past one or the first one?
The first one. Don't remember.
Man, that's how it is.
Don't
bro.
know any movies that she's ever been in. Actually, I didn't know that before I just checked it.
Right.
But from what I see, she was also dating Anthony Bourdain, who killed himself.
Right.
We talked about that too.
Right. But now, on the back end of that, do we understand if this was part of his thought process with all of this supposedly going on?
Kurt, I don't know. We're turning into a conspiracy show.
Exactly.
Now. I don't know.
Because we're trying to figure out how a man that's supposedly on top of the world, going place to place, enjoying food and liquor and everything else, why is he hanging himself?
So
now, again, it might be.
So Asia Argento, she's one of the faces of the Me Too movement,
right?
With other actresses, and she basically said Harvey Weinstein. I guess she said he raped her,
right,
at like a film festival,
right,
and she's been out in the forefront pushing it, and that's all good, and that's fine. I applaud that. I support that. People should not use power to get something just because they want it. And
people should not be afraid to say no.
Right.
Either, and being afraid that what they want will get taken away.
And I say people because this is not just a man thing.
Yeah.
Women are doing it as well. And what happened, what basically has come out is that Asia Argento, she sexually assaulted an underage young man. And I guess he was trying to, sue her.
Right.
And he got paid off.
Right.
I think they said it was like how much, like
380 something
thousand. 300. Like it was in the 100,000.
Right.
He's 100,000 there right now.
Yeah. Right.
And from initially, what kind of came out? It came out about it, and what I really wanted to see what was gonna be said. This is why I want to talk about it, is because I wanted to see if the people who are out when your Harvey Weinsteins and all these other guys, especially even the guy like Aziz Ansari, when we talked about that, when he took the lady out on a date and the people were all on his back. I wanted to see if those same people we're going to be standing with this young man who's coming out and saying that he was sexually assaulted.
Exactly.
Now, from what I've seen, some of the women in the Me Too movement, what they specifically, I think Rose McGowan and some other people in there, they were like, look, we don't know all the facts. Let's wait and see the facts.
Right.
And my thing is this. When it was coming out that Harvey Weinstein, even Bill Cosby on the first, like I said, I've admitted, about the first 10 women, I was like, hey, let's get all the facts. Once Bill done reached, once his numbers,
exactly.
Once Bill Cosby's numbers got to like a football
days
team
of the year.
I was like, all right, you know what?
Right. Who was helping Bill Cosby assist these numbers?
Right, these are the facts. But they're saying, let's wait to hear all the facts. And my thing is this: when these powerful men, even though I believe that these guys did what they did, but the thing is that you can't say, let's wait for all the facts when a woman is being accused of it.
Of course.
And then, but when it's a man, it's
automatically
no, you did this.
Exactly. Automatically jumped on.
That's it. Like even in Aziz Ansari's case, it was, what he did was just, the girl just had a bad experience on the date.
Right.
And all of a sudden people are trying, like his career has slowed down because of this. Right. So you're fucking with people's lives now.
Yeah.
And the fact is,
you're quick to jump the gun.
Right. And the fact is that this woman, who she actually came out, Kurt, and she said that it didn't happen. that she never even had any intercourse with him.
Right.
And then it turns out that I think like a couple of days ago, a picture came out of them naked in the bed together.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just, like we got to start getting this kind of, we got to find a middle ground.
Yeah. Right.
Because, like it can't just be when a man is doing it, we jumping right on them.
Right.
But when a woman's doing it, it's like, all right, let's take our time. Let's wait for everything to come out.
I understand that. But see, what we don't understand, truthfully, is the timeline. Because did Harvey sexually assault her, and she learned this from Harvey and sexually assaulted that young man? Did Anthony Bourdain know about it? Was that picture truly a selfie, or was it taken by somebody else? Or did the young man purposely wait to do this knowing that he had them trapped and did not press charges or call the police and knew he was going to get paid and took this blackmail or whatever? Because again, why was this never publicized all of this time? You know what I'm saying? So did he know that that's what he was going to do? That he was going, okay, I see you touching me inappropriately. Cha-ching. You understand? Now you got somebody hanging themselves for having guilt for doing this. And then the back of my mind question is, if she's saying she wasn't doing it, then who was actually doing it? The man that hung himself?
Yeah, it could be something like, so this is what I'm thinking is, because I think the guy, he even came out and he said that, one of the things that kind of gave him the power to come out and say something was when he saw her out.
Right.
Saying that Harvey Weinstein sexually assaulted her.
Right. But see, he was receiving money before that, though. See, that's the thing I'm saying. He was, before she mentioned whatever she mentioned, he had already got his 300 plus $100,000.
Right. From what she's saying.
Until she said something.
Yeah.
He wasn't complaining about not receiving no money. Right.
Now, from what she said, she's saying that she didn't pay him anything. She's saying that Anthony Bourdain paid him the money. And I guess what happened.
It doesn't mean the assault didn't happen.
From what they're saying is he didn't get the whole thing at one time. Like they gave him like one payments apart, and then he was going to continue to get payments.
Exactly.
And now, like you were saying, could it be something where her and Anthony Bourdain, maybe they were having problems in their relationship, and maybe who, like I'm not speculating on why he killed himself,
exactly,
but it's definitely, this is something that needs to be looked into. The fact is that it's coming out that this dude done paid off a man that his girlfriend sexually assaulted.
And it could have been one of them, what they call them, a tryst.
Right.
Because, again, he was not complaining about not receiving money until she said what she said about Harvey Weinstein. And then I'm trying to figure out, did she get that from him? Did she learn that maneuver from him? Because, again, her saying she's not paid, she didn't pay, didn't mean she didn't do it, man. That's not what I'm hearing. I didn't pay it. Okay, I don't pay the electric bill all the time, but I use electricity.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Now, no, because initially, Kurt, she did come out and say she did not do it.
Okay.
That she was even coming and saying she, like, because basically,
same thing Harvey was saying.
Yeah, right. Basically what came out, I guess those two did a movie together.
Right, like her and Harvey. Right.
Yeah, and I guess while making the movie, this is when their relationship kind of started.
Right, like her and Harvey.
Yeah, and basically what happened was, like there's like some tweets that she sent out, basically acknowledging that she knew him and she knew he was underage.
Of course.
And all this.
Yeah, she knew that the first day she met him.
Right, because I think maybe in the movie they were in, I think she was playing like his mother or something.
Yeah, there's something about the heart desires and does what it wants or something.
I guess it does, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell kind of title was that?
Right, but my thing is, and this is, and I would say this with any, like, even if a man or a woman says like they're sexually assaulted. Like this guy, he's with this, he's having a pretty, I almost think that, you some type of relationship with her. Because if it happened more than once,
right?
I'm thinking like if you taking selfies in the bed with her,
right.
sorry.
Exactly.
I think you all are in some kind of relationship.
You know, see, and that's the other thing, though, G Money, which throughout history, which people are so, again, brainwashery. They don't know the difference between having sex and sleeping together. Because you can be in the same bed and sleep together, but not have sex. It's not the exact same thing, man. People don't understand. They can't associate that. Sleeping together and having sex are two different things. Mm-hmm. They could have slept in the same bed. Doesn't mean they were having sex.
So, Kurt,
that's not the same.
I'm with you on that. Now, from the picture that I saw, it didn't look that good.
So the picture you saw, I need to see, because you making it seem like they was right on top of each other.
No.
Like he was pumping her and got packed on her back. Like, what's going on here? Keep the party going, player. No. Okay.
Give me a chance, Kurt. I'm gonna try to find a picture. Okay. Here we
you
go,
talking
Kurt.
about, it's like niggas are skin on skin up in this piece. Let me see this picture here, Playboy. Okay, now I need to see a better picture. See, this is what I'm saying. That picture right there, they could have been sitting in a chair and having that same pose. They could have been sitting on the beach in the lawn chair somewhere. That doesn't verify that they were in the bed, man. That little picture crop right there does not show me bed. But again, does not show me sex either.
True. It doesnit
not.
But it's just a picture.
It's just a picture. That's all it is. It's just a picture. Like I said, they could have been in any type of setting. They could have been sitting at a kitchen bar and had their head together and took a selfie.
Now, Kurt, I just pulled this up. Now, this is an interview that they did with the young man. His name is Jimmy Bennett.
Jimmy,
yeah. And he said, and basically, for what happened, he said, I tried to seek justice in a way that made sense to me at the time because I was not ready to deal with the ramifications of my story becoming public. He said, at the time, I believe that there was still a stigma to being in the situation as a male in our society. I didn't think that people would understand the event that took place from the eyes of a teenage boy.
And that is absolute truth. Because him having supposedly relations with an older woman, that's a high five. But the opposite direction, that's a hanging. You understand what I'm saying? Right. If that was the opposite direction,
right? If it was
this man would be on the chopping block. Because
what this is saying, Kurt, this is actually saying that
he's 100% right.
It was actually an encounter that happened in May of 2013. So he's legal now. He's he's of age now.
He is, right.
Yeah, and basically it happened in California when he was 17 and she was 37. So that basically she's 20 years older than him.
Right, but see, the problem is they were in the wrong state. Because if they were in another state, she could have been in a state where 16 could have been a consensual.
Because in California, the age of consent is 18.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the other problem she ran into.
Yeah.
But again, he's 100% correct. That's a high five moment if you're a man. But if she's a young woman, oh, you a tramp. You a whore. You don't know what you're doing. You can't control yourself. You this and you that. But if he comes out, then he has a problem. Because you're a man, you're not supposed to be coming out about this. You're a male, you're not supposed to be having this. We had this discussion.
Yep.
It's a catch-22 all the time.
It's almost like, if you're a man and you come out about something, it's almost like it's the first thing they say is, you're a man.
Yeah.
How can you be sexually assaulted?
Exactly. How can you be sexually assaulted as a man?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's 100% correct. But at the same time, he wanted to go about it where it wouldn't be out, but he didn't stop him from taking their money, though.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem I don't like about him. Because if he really wanted justice, and this is what he was doing, who was he trying to get justice from? Because he should have went to the authorities. But again, I understand if the authorities want to go.
So from what it's saying here, Kurt, initially he was looking for $3.5 million in damages.
Okay,
and from what it's saying that I guess most of the money that was paid out to him was paid by Anthony Bourdain.
Right.
And I guess like he was one of the people that kind of helped her try to figure out how to handle the situation.
Right. Flip it under the rug.
Yeah,
type
exactly.
Situation.
So from what it's saying is the payments began with a $200,000 lump sum in April.
Wow.
And it says Miss Argento has been making $10,000 a month payments since then.
Okay.
So this is my problem with it, Kurt. Is if you and this is like the situation I think a lot of people get into. It's like a problem is, especially just in this country.
Right.
It's like when you got money, sometimes you're like, you know what? I don't want to deal with no problems.
Of course.
I'm gonna just give you the money. I'm gonna give you the money.
Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you didn't do it, you're like, you know what? I know what you after. Here, take the money. Leave me the fuck alone.
Exactly.
But in her case, the fact is that she's the forefront of this movement that's going on.
Of course.
She's one of the faces of it. And on the low, on the sneak, she's out here making payments for being accused of sexual assault.
Exactly.
And that's some fucking hypocrisy.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the primary definition of hypocrisy.
That's some hypocrisy. That is some hypocrisy right there.
And then she expected him to be quiet because he already started getting his money, so she wasn't expecting him to open his mouth.
So, see, and this is the thing, Kurt, and this is actually one of the things that, like, it kind of came out, like, during the R. Kelly thing is that, what they said is that a lot of the women that, you know, that actually accused R. Kelly of doing things to them, you know, he did the exact same thing to them. He gave them an amount of money, and they had to sign a non-disclosure agreement where they can't say anything about it.
Right.
And I think like earlier this year, a young lady came out and she said, I signed a non-disclosure agreement, but I don't care. I'm going to say something about what's going on.
And so as she was saying that she was returning the money?
Kurt, you know that money ain't coming back.
Because that's what I understand. I understand where she's coming from. Now. But is she returning the money as she's saying, I don't care about the non-disclosure?
Now, is this guy still receiving payments from her to still the $10,000?
Right, because what she said, Anthony was paying it. Anthony no longer exists. Right. So if today, who was he getting his money from?
Well, so at least this is just me assuming. I'm assuming that Anthony Bourdain possibly put up that first 200, and possible. Maybe she's making the 10,000 per month. Yeah. So basically, if they agree to 380,000, that means she has to just pay another 180. So it's almost like they kind of split.
Right, exactly.
Anthony Bourdain was like, "Look, I'll take the 200, but these other you gotta handle that. Right. You gotta handle that yourself."
Now, the number one question is, are we going to start hearing more stories? Because I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to be making payments in a minute. I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's like I said, it's just like, as we all know, about addictions and not being able to control yourself, having self-control. Now, who says this was the first and only young man that she may have put her hands on?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Don't know. You don't know. Because according to everybody else, like you say, the men can't control themselves. They have all these victims and everything else. Who's to say that she doesn't have others in the background that accepted their money and stayed quiet?
That could be possible. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. But it's... Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Exactly. If everybody never really thinks about the behind the scenes, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, you got some guys out here who are saying, you know, I'm all for, you know, women's rights, and then it comes out that they were accused of doing something.
Right,
and it's, you know, and it's actually, it's one of them things. I think I don't know if you've seen it. It's on like a Netflix, one of Dave Chappelle's Netflix specials, where he was kind of talking about it, and he was saying that in order for change to happen, you're gonna need men to come together with the women. It's gotta happen. You know what I mean? It's like It's like if these women are out in the forefront and they're trying to make change happen, they're trying to make change happen by themselves. That's great. The thing is, though, in order for the actual change to happen, you're gonna need some powerful men that's coming up and saying, I'm not gonna take this no more. We're gonna have to have something happen.
Exactly.
And it actually brings me to something, and it's kind of the same thing. Is something that I saw the other day. I didn't read the full story, but basically, Skylar Diggins in the WNBA.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was basically, the big hot topic in the WNBA has been like, WNBA players aren't paid as much as NBA players.
Right, exactly.
And, and there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah,
There's a lot that goes, a lot goes into it is like, what money are they actually, what money is getting brought in?
Exactly. Advertisement.
Advertisement, you know what I mean? Like, a lot goes into that.
You get more Little League baseball coverage than you do with the NBA, and the WNBA is in the finals right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
they play finals games.
It's sad because I did not realize that the WNBA was in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs right now.
But she came out and basically she said that, Harrison Barnes, who plays for the Dallas Mavericks, makes more money than her.
Right.
And the thing is that, I get where she's coming from, but is that really something that you needed to say?
No, it's really nothing that she needed to say, but she wanted to bring it to her attention because it actually goes without saying. See, that's the part people.
Okay,
and
so Kurt, I got it. It's so Skylar Diggins said this: "I'm the highest paid player on the Dallas Wings, and my salary is in the low six figures. Mm-hmm. Harrison Barnes, the highest paid player on the Dallas Mavericks, he made $24 million last season." And she says, he's definitely younger than me. Mm-hmm. Do you know his stats? Was he an all-star? I mean, it doesn't matter, but last year I was first team all WNBA.
Right.
Which only goes to 5 players. I was also a WNBA all-star for the 3rd time.
Right.
Now, is she one of the better players in the WNBA? I would assume so.
Yes, I would assume
but
so.
The thing is that, for one, you have to... It's all about negotiation.
Right.
And, I'm pretty sure the same way the NFL, the baseball, hockey, football, that's like the NBA, they all have a collective bargaining agreement.
Yes.
Where the players and they reps come together and they say, we want this amount of the pie,
right.
We want this, that, and that.
Right.
Now, it's about what you negotiate at the table.
Right.
It's about what you negotiate. Now, what you got to understand, I think how long the WNBA has to have been, it's almost coming up. It's got to be like over 20 years, right?
Well, yeah, because we forget about the WBL, the Women's Basketball League.
I've never heard
exactly. See, that's the other thing, man. That's why I tell you, man, I be checking this stuff out, man. I be watching this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing, like I said, it shouldn't go all these years without saying that the women who's playing professional sports should be getting paid equal to the men playing professional sports. Like you said, these contracts and these television contracts now they have all these shoe deals and whoever else, these can be split evenly between the leagues, man. I don't understand why it's so hard for that to happen. Okay, because
so you're saying that the NBA should split some of their money with the WNBA.
Oh, because I thought it was all the same. I thought because you put a W in front of it, that means it's different. No, it's still the National Basketball Association. So when you get to the forefront of collecting bargaining agreements, as you stated, you hear a lot of these NBA players say, yes, the WNBA players should receive more money. Okay, I'm at the table right now. I got a $10 billion agreement from Pepsi, whoever. I'm going to take $5 billion and place it over to the WNBA. I bet you everybody at that NBA table is going to pitch a motherfucking fit They gonna say, "What you mean you gonna take 5? You gonna take half?" Yeah, I'm gonna take half and I'm gonna get to the WNBA. Them same motherfuckers that say the women should deserve more money be the first one crying because they know when they take that 5, now we got to split between the rest of the 5. You understand what I'm saying? So again, we on the topic of hypocrisy because this seems to be the topic of today's section is hypocrisy because these same NBA players like Harrison Barnes, who was getting $24 million to sit on the fucking bench at this time in his career, will pitch a fit if they say, Harrison, we're going to take $9 million of that and we're going to split it between the women's team in Dallas. I guarantee you. But yet, as soon as she says something about it, it becomes a problem. See, that's the problem right there. It should go without saying.
Now, the thing is, I don't think it's like a problem that she said it. I think the problem is that she chose to use because I think NBA players are actually saying WNBA players should get more money.
Yeah,
I think NBA players are actually saying that they should get more money. And I think the problem is that she chose to say, well, this guy who plays in the same market as her, in the same state as her,
right.
is making this much money. Now, the thing is, if you're not familiar with Harrison Barnes, like is he one of the top 10 players in the league? No.
Not at this time, he is not.
But was Harrison Barnes a key part of a championship team in Golden State? He was.
Right.
Would Harrison Barnes still be on the Warriors if Kevin Durant didn't decide to come there? Possibly. Possibly.
It's possible.
Possibly. So, because the thing is,
his role and what she's saying is more than her role in what she does?
No.
Because why does his money is more if you think the role is the same? That's what I'm saying. They down there banking too. Just because they don't dunk doesn't mean they're not playing hard, man. I'm telling you, I'm watching these games. These women be busting their ass out there, man.
They play hard.
About
they play hard.
They play basketball.
Hard. They play hard.
I will bang your ass down low because I can't dunk.
I would actually say, I think in the WNBA, I think they actually play more fundamental basketball than you got some teams in the
because you want to minimalize what these women can do on the court.
Kurt, who's been? I'm not. Kurt,
I'm not talking about you in general. I'm not talking about you in general. I'm talking about the organization of the WNBA, man.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And see, we all get into the mindset of this. I'm going to play like I get paid, man. I feel you paying me less money. Why the fuck I'm going to go out there and break my ankles all goddamn day for you to collect these checks and then you want to pay me a fourth or a fifth of what you actually bring it in? But see, that's the thing, man. That like I said, I'm watching.
Okay, so the question is the WNBA, how much are they actually bringing in? Okay. Like, are they? So the thing is, it could now, Kurt. Now, let's play devil advocate on it.
Right?
Is the WNBA like if the WNBA? Okay, let's say this: the NBA is the NBA.
Right.
The NBA, in order to have players like a LeBron, a Durant, a Curry, Harden, Paul. Like I can go on. I can name all these different kind of players, and I'm talking about these are players that. If I go to China or anywhere else, these, like, for instance, I read something, they said fucking Derrick Rose.
Right.
Former MVP of the Bulls. Derrick Rose hasn't been, I would say, a top player in the NBA in probably the last, 5, 6, 7 years, possibly. Yes. Derrick Rose is still popular in China.
Okay.
They broke it. They said 70% of Derrick Rose's shoe sales are in China.
Right, because nobody in America is dumb enough to put them on.
No, but what I'm saying is, is that the NBA is a global sport.
Yeah.
The NBA is a global to where a guy like Derrick Rose, who has not been a top player in the league in how many years, is still, Derrick Rose probably still has one of the more popular selling shoes in the NBA.
I understand that.
Now, so what I'm saying is that in order to have players like that.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure, as much as people say anything about Derrick Rose, you would have to say that the NBA, when they look at a guy like him, they're saying he adds to our global reach.
Okay.
He reaches a different demographic than just here in America.
I understand.
Now, you look at a guy like LeBron. LeBron has his hand in everything. You know, movies, all types of stuff. Like I just saw, I think LeBron has a TV show coming on like Showtime or Stars or HBO or something like that, where it's like he's in a barber shop, you know, talking to celebrities and stuff.
Oh, I seen a clip of that. Okay.
And it's like a TV show. They made it a TV show.
Right.
Now,
they said nobody's getting a haircut, but in the barber shop talking.
Now, and you look at a guy like Steph Curry, who's like, you know, he's brought shooting back to the NBA when it was pretty much all about dunking and stuff. Steph Curry has brought shooting back to the NBA. So global stuff. Like I'm seeing Steph Curry doing fucking commercials for water.
Right.
So
exactly.
These are players who 9 times out of 10, they could probably, like, I'm pretty sure LeBron makes more money off the court than he makes on the court.
Right.
So in order to have a guy like LeBron to where, you know, LeBron is like, you know what, maybe I want to play here for 20 years.
Right.
Because, you know, I'm going to get, LeBron is one of the players that said, I'm not taking any pay cuts no more. You're going to pay me the maximum amount that what you can give me.
He's already done his pay cut.
And LeBron and Chris Paul, the reason that Chris Paul has a crazy contract at the tail end of his career is because him and LeBron, they negotiated this contract for the older star players coming in.
Right.
Now, when you look at the WNBA, is the WNBA bringing in, like, I don't see a lot of the female players in the WNBA. I don't see a lot of their commercials not on maybe your ESPN or the NBA TV. I don't see those. Like, for instance, the team out here, the Chicago Sky. Right. I can't even, it's hard for me to find the channel that their games come on. It's impossible to find the game.
And that's what I'm saying. Are we blaming the NBA because they put a W in front of it? Because the same thing that you're saying as the NBA is a global sport, they can make the WNBA the exact same thing. That's what I'm telling you.
They could.
They got more advertising for the fucking Little League baseball than they got for the WNBA.
Right. But the thing is,
I can't even find it.
Now, Kurt, is this now?
I accidentally find it.
Now, this is the thing. Now, this is kind of going into it. Is this a thing of? Is it that the NBA is not doing it, or is it that when you look at the Little League World Series, this is something that, you know, baseball is like a tradition thing,
right?
Like we've all come out and said it. Bro, baseball is boring.
They barely advertise baseball, but these fuckers getting $250 million contracts. I still don't know who these players are.
Kurt, look, Kurt. I know who the Cubs are. The Cubs are my team. They sell out Wrigley Field probably every game.
I understand that.
Now, you know, for baseball, some people would say baseball is America's pastime.
That's what
at one point in time. No, it is the pastime because baseball is the third most popular sport in this country.
Yeah.
And it might be a tie with hockey.
Well, at this current time,
right? Because in this country, you got football. Basketball. And when you look at football is a fucking train wreck right now.
It is.
Football is a fucking train wreck.
Yes, it is.
The NBA is right now the most popular sport in the world.
Right. But see, what you keep failing to understand as naming all these sports, other than soccer, these other sports don't have female. Because I don't understand why people don't think women can play baseball.
Well, we can play baseball.
Why do you always fucking play softball? Why aren't there women baseball teams? You think a woman can't throw a fastball? A woman can't hit a fastball? Can't hit a baseball?
Well, Kurt, it could. And the thing is and that's what I'm coming to is maybe the reason that the Little League World Series is getting this advertisement all over ESPN is because.
No, it's beyond ESPN.
I mean, like we're still in a society where, you know, let's be honest with it. Rich white men are in power, and maybe they don't want to put out a sport where well, let's say it, the
They
face
can't
of
accept the fact that a woman can play sports better than they can.
I think actually a woman. I think Candace
man.
Parker. She's like in the WNBA. She plays for like the Los
and
Angeles
she
Sparks, and she was saying that guys come up to her asking her to play one-on-one all the time, and she's like, "Why would I play you one-on-one?" Like, and the thing is that a guy isn't going to come up and ask James Harden, "Let me play you one-on-one,"
right?
Because you already know what the outcome's going to be.
Right.
You ain't going to come up and ask Westbrook, let me play you one-on-one. You know what that outcome is going to be.
Exactly.
It's actually like, the video going around earlier this summer of Joel Embiid. He was going to like parks.
Right.
Like just playing regular people and just destroying them. And that's one thing I always say is even like if you're on an NBA team, even if you don't play.
Right.
You're still pretty fucking good.
Right. And then you have those reverse of that when you have some cats that you never heard before. Bust their motherfucking ass, but you'll never hit it.
Just like there's actually like, if you want to go check it out, Denzel Valentine.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Plays for the Chicago Bulls. Denzel Valentine went to like an open run.
Yes.
And a guy who I guess his job is playing in these open runs during the summer.
Exactly.
Was busting this guy's ass.
Man.
And was basically saying, how is this dude in the NBA?
Exactly.
Which I understand.
How was he even in it? I don't understand how he wasn't in the NBA. But at the end, and like I said, man, it's what she's saying is completely correct, man. Because number one, you're not trying to advertise the product. Number one, and you can't make it global if the people in the fucking United States don't even know it exists.
Now, Kurt, I got a question for you. Now, because I think the WNBA kind of started up around like 96 or 97.
See, that's again, you keep forgetting the W.
No. But I'm talking about the WNBA. I'm specifically talking about the WNBA.
You talking about the name of it?
No, I'm talking about the name, the actual WNBA. I'm talking about the WNBA teams.
Right.
The Sparks, the Comets, the New York Liberty, Seattle. I'm talking about those specific teams. Would you say? Because I think like Kurt, like 96 or 97, Kurt, I wasn't even 10 years old yet. I was still like, Now, would you say that when the WNBA first started, do you think that it was advertised more then?
No.
Than what it is now, or you think it's equal?
It's still the same. Nobody knows the WNBA exists, man. It's still the exact same. Cause in 96, I had no idea about the WNBA.
No, because
I had no idea they played past college.
No, because
that they were going to go to the WNBA, man.
Yeah, because I remember when it kind of first started that. I remember Cheryl Swoops. I remember they saying Cheryl Swoops was like the female Michael Jordan. I remember, Tina Thompson, you know what I mean? Taretha Weatherspoon, Rebecca Lobo, Lisa Leslie. I remember these women. These were the women that they put out in the forefront. Yeah. Like, I remember on an episode of Martin, they had the WNBA go against him. So that's what I'm saying. I think that when the WNBA first came on the scene, I feel that it was advertised more to the public to get people to say, come on, let's go, let's watch this. Because, they were more advertised. You had these teams out.
That should be a fucking commercial. The WNBA, let's watch this. That should be the commercial. The WNBA, let's watch this. That's to be the commercial, man. You just did it, man. I'm glad you recorded. So everybody when we taste that shit, we got this money. The WNBA, let's watch this. That is the commercial. Because again, I don't understand how, again, you look on these boxes and I'm doing a basic search to see what's going on with the WNBA. I can't even find it. But I can find every motherfucking Little League baseball game that's out there. But I can't find a WNBA. And they are in the finals, man. I don't even know who's in the finals, man. This is what I'm understanding right now, man. It's the box provides sports apps and content.
But what's actually crazy to me is don't the WNBA still have a team in Seattle?
Do they?
Yeah, the Seattle Storm is still in existence.
Okay.
But the Seattle Supersonics are not. And I'm sorry, Kurt, that's a robbery for me. When I was growing up, I remember the Seattle Supersonics.
Right, yes.
To see that, like, that's what's missing in NBA. That green from the Seattle Supersonics. They need to come back. But I think that just to bring it back to like, the Asia Argento thing, the WNBA, it's like, because when you look at like just in general, like in the Asia Argento thing, we're talking about a person who was sexually assaulted and then she assaulted somebody as well.
Right.
And we're trying to figure out, okay, what does what she did to this young man, does this cancel out the pain that she experienced with Harvey Weinstein? You know what I mean? And that's the thing.
But see, I don't want to say it cancels it out. I want to understand if that's where she learned it from. Because again, society fails to understand and realize a lot of times when people grow up and they do things, that exact thing happened to them.
Right.
But nobody was around to either believe it or they never told it because of the horrific manner of what may have happened.
And it could you're right. It could be something where Harvey Weinstein assaulted her.
Right.
And she's dealing with this pain. Right. So that what she decides to do is take her pain on somebody else.
Exactly. And then we won't be surprised 10 years from now to hear that this young man, Jimmy, touched on some of the other person. Ripple effects.
It's a circle.
It's a circle.
And when we're talking about this, and we're talking about just like the WNBA and just like, it's the thing is that, and what I'm coming to bring this all together is,
right,
with the Me Too movement, the WNBA, it comes to what I was saying. You have to have, even though women can do it, they can get it done. But you have to have somebody, you have to have some man that's going to stick his neck out and say, these women, let me tell you, like, if LeBron James came out and said, like, look, what I'm going to do is my salary that I'm making, how much money is LeBron making? Let's say the top highest paid players in the NBA.
Say he made $1 billion this year.
Let's just say the top, but like let's not even just bring it down to LeBron, because LeBron is the face of the NBA, but LeBron's not carrying the league by himself.
Right, exactly.
There's other people that's holding it up with him.
Exactly.
So let's say the top 10 highest paid players in the NBA said, look, my salary for this year, you can take all of that salary, just leave me with $1 million. Mm-hmm. Take that, put that into the WNBA pot, and spread it out throughout all those players.
Exactly.
Now, that's what I'm saying, is that the change isn't going to happen until you got some strong men that's going to come up and say, I'm gonna help in the change.
Oh, right, of course.
And that's my point in saying this thing with Skylar Diggins is that what she's saying is right. I just don't think calling out an NBA player saying, has he been an all-star, what has he done is the right way to take it.
Right.
Because
she should have called out the NBA.
Not even the NBA. Call out, for one, they negotiated the contracts. The NBA, when they're doing their collective bargaining, they're negotiating the contracts with their teams. When the WNBA do it, if they got a problem, the WNBA need to go. They need to get somebody else in the head of their players association. They need to try to get the commissioner of their league out.
Because I don't understand how they fly they still flying commercial and can't make it to games.
So that's my thing you're bargaining this. You're doing the bargaining. So whatever Harrison Barnes gets paid is what he gets paid.
Right.
He's getting paid what the Dallas Mavericks thinks his worth is to their team.
Hey, that's true too.
So for her to call out what he's getting paid, or call out, or basically trying to talk about his achievements,
right?
It's a moot point. It means nothing, because in the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban has enough money to where he's like, you know what? Mm-hmm. I'm going to make Harrison Barnes the highest paid player on my team.
That's true.
I want Harrison Barnes to be the highest paid player on my team, for the foreseeable future.
Right.
That was Mark Cuban's decision. Right. Now, for the Dallas team and the WNBA, they made a decision that they wanted to make Skylar Diggins the highest paid player on their team. Now, even though she's saying she's making only six figures and Harrison Barnes making millions, the thing is, when it's time to come up for you to negotiate your next collective bargaining agreement, maybe you need to go in there and say, look, we want these flights to be right. Because I think the team that their flight got fucked up, they had to forfeit the game.
Yeah.
So
and they're not the only one. Right. Some of them they're barely making it to the game. Things
negotiate that shit in your contract that, hey, this has to get fixed. Negotiate that you want a bigger piece of the pie.
Right.
That's what you got to do. Right. Now, because coming out and talking about what an NBA player is making, all that's going to happen is you're going to get some dumbass men that's going to come out and say, well, how much money is your league bringing in?
Right.
Are you bringing in, is the WNBA bringing in enough money to where you the top players in their league can even make what Harrison Barnes is making?
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. You can't sit back here and try to make your point by disrespecting somebody else. Right. Especially if you all negotiated the contracts.
Right.
You negotiated. You can't be mad.
Before the team came into existence, all this should have been figured out before they even started drafting players and everything else. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Right. Now,
all that should have
the thing is, could the NBA can possibly afford to go into a lockout.
Right.
Now, certain players can, because I remember the last NBA lockout, some players, they said, look, I can't afford to not play. They went and they played overseas to get paid. Now, can the WNBA players afford to get,
No, they can't, because they're not even getting commercial advertisement. So I know they can't afford a lockout. I know they can't afford, if they said this would be just, this season they're going to lock out. No. I barely know they exist.
So, Kurt, we're going to come right back to this. We're going to take a quick pause. All right, cool. So, Kurt, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I do, because I'm about to hurt a lot of people's feelings right now, which, every so often, this is what people to the actual reality of what's going on. Because as I'm sitting and I'm thinking and I'm trying to figure out why the WNBA is not receiving the accolades and the advertisement and what it deserves, is it because not only of the women's sexuality, but homosexuality? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I know for a fact that a lot of women in WNBA are in homosexual relationships. Now, flip to the men's side. They had a problem when one player came out as homosexual. Imagine if you have multiple NBA players that come out and decide to come out to say they are homosexual. This is what these so-called men that you say need to step up is having a problem with. Because the women are balling, man. They
are balling.
They on the court breaking ankles, dropping threes. Other than, like you said,
it's a good game.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Because other than you don't see a dunk every 5 seconds. Okay, so what?
Right.
Are they being held back because of that? It's my question. I like to bring it to reality.
I think that at least from the comments that I've seen some people make about the WNBA, they say now, like I said, WNBA is a good game. I think Diana Taurasi is right now. She's like a top player.
Right. Because she was whooping ass the other day.
Right. But I think
for Phoenix. That's the one for Phoenix, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think at least from what I've seen, they say that it's not a competitive game. It's like some people say it's a boring game. It's not, and which adds into the dunking and you're not gonna get those highlight alley-oop plays and all that. That's why whenever a woman dunks in a game, it's like a big deal,
right?
You know what I mean? It's like because you don't see it all the time,
right? But I don't think dunking makes you competitive though. Anybody can dunk, man. Motherfucker, I used to have a 45-inch vertical, but that don't mean I was competitive. You understand what I'm saying? But again, that's my main question. It's not their sexuality. It's the homosexuality that's causing these men that, like I said, you say need to step up in order for this game to progress. That's my question.
I would obviously, it's definitely people. There are haters of homosexuality that are out there, and that's definitely a problem. But I don't know, Kurt. I guess I think the WNBA is a great game. I think it needs to get put out there more so more people can see it.
Of course.
I wish that they would have like nights the NBA have. Where you got your top games for Thursday and Tuesday and all that. I wish that there was like a night where the WNBA is at the forefront.
Of course.
But like I said, it's gonna take the NBA to come out and to push it out there for that.
And then it's like, okay, how long is this going to take though? Because again, it's already been recognized that it's here. So how long is it going to take for the NBA to recognize that it's here?
Yeah. All right, Kurt, we're going to end this one. That was a good conversation.
Oh yeah. That was all right.
So that's Tacos with Friend podcast at gmail.com. Tacos with Friends on YouTube. Tacos with Friend on Twitter. Send us your comments. Unless you send the comments about Nicki Minaj's album. I ain't trying to hear that shit no more. I'm done with it. Don't send no more comments about that album. All right? So until next time.